What's up, guys? Luke back again with another Gaming Week in Review podcast, where we talk about the things that have interested us in the world of video games each and every week. Before we get started, make sure you smash that like button as well as subscribe with bell notifications turned on so you can catch us every time we do a podcast or any other sort of video on YouTube. Now, there's a ton of news to get into, so with that being said, let's get right into it. So Cyberpunk, unless you've been living under a rock, you guys know that Cyberpunk 2077 has just released, and there, of course, in a game of this scale, are a lot of major issues. It is reminiscent of Bethesda release. Everyone knows whenever Bethesda releases a game, it's usually pretty buggy to start, and as the game is released and they go through it, like it or not, they do usually clean them up. They're not perfect, but Bethesda usually makes pretty large scale video games. As of recently, of course, they've been acquired by Microsoft, so their direction may change a little bit. Quality control may increase. We're really not sure yet. But Cyberpunk 2077 is a huge and dense game, and it was to be expected that it would run into some issues, especially early in its release. There's been a lot of bugs reported, obviously when reviews were coming out, and that's kind of negatively impacted the game as far as its review scores were going. People were loving the game, but they were sort of upset about the bugs. But I think that's not a reason for us to not jump into this game. And CD Projekt Red seems to be all over it. They're posting on Twitter basically saying, yeah, we know there's issues, and we're working them out, and even going as far as giving content creators like myself heads up. Hey, in the beginning of the game, if you turn streamer mode on, the beginning of the game, you may get DCMA striked. So they're doing a good job, basically trying to clean up the mess that inherently was going to happen with a game of this scale. But I think they're gonna take care of it. Also, I just wanted to note that this game is meant for next gen. Numerous people have been complaining about it not running very well on their OG PS4 or their OG Xbox, and it's like, duh, this game is meant for next gen. So if you're unhappy with the current gen specs, at least it's available on backwards compatibility. So when you do get that newer hardware, it will run a lot better. But, expect it to be, subpar on previous generation systems. It's just it's a game that has been in development for a very long time, and it's a very resource intensive game. Now, as time goes on, they may optimize it a little bit more for these different platforms, or they may not. We just had a new console generation come out, so I wouldn't expect them to be pouring a ton of time, maybe some time, but not a ton of time working on previous gen consoles. They're gonna focus most of their energy on the current and new gen that has just come out. So if you're upset with the performance on your OG system, well, it sucks that they sold a subpar product, but it's hard to please everybody. Hold on to your copy of the game when the new system when you get the new system in your house. Then fire it up again. If you fire it up and you're like, I want to wait, that's totally fine too. This game is a single player game. It's not going anywhere. And I think you would probably have a better experience waiting for that new hardware, because a lot of patches will have been out by then, and a lot of bug fixes will have been out by then and patched. So that's kind of my opinion on the Cyberpunk 2077 situation. I think it's going to be a phenomenal game. It's personally not a game that is for me, just for personal reasons, but like, hey, you know, I think a lot of people will enjoy it. I think it's going to sell tremendously. I think it's going to be a huge hit with the gaming community, and you know, I wish him the best. So we'll keep you guys updated if there's anything new, you know, major, like kind of newsworthy sort of stuff on that. But I just kind of wanted to just touch on it briefly. And this week, just like every other week, we have limited run news. And first thing that I wanted to talk about, as always, is our last chance games. These are games that are going out. They're games that you have only days to pick up. So go and get them quick if you want them. And this one's actually a pretty big one. I've actually asked around the store a few times just to, like, you know, my fellow nerds, you know, what they think about this game. And it's usually been very positive. So this one is definitely one that I want to kind of highlight. Hey, last chance, go and get it physically. I think it would be a great add to your collection. And it is Towerfall. We spoke about this obviously a few podcasts ago. And this game is basically, the way I describe it is it's a 8-bit or 16-bit, no, 8-bit Smash Bros. It's a great party game. It's a fun game to get together with your friends. It's super simple. It's actually more simple than Smash, so it's very easy to pick up and play. There's also a co-op mode if you don't want to fight against each other. You can fight with each other, and overall, it's a great pickup. This is a Switch-only release. It comes with you can either get the standard edition for $39.99 or the collector's edition for $69.99. And just to briefly run over the collector's edition, it comes with 10 Archer trading cards, an acrylic diorama standee, overworld cloth map, reversible 18 by 24 poster, and a 4 enamel pin set. This one is going to be taken off the market on the 13th, which at the time of this recording is 2 days. So go and get it quick if you're watching this on YouTube. And with that is the end of our last chance games. Now we're going into new this week. We got a couple, so definitely sit back and get ready for this. So the first game is Hyper Light Drifter Special Edition. This is a Switch only release. I unfortunately didn't have time to look into this game, so I'm just making the announcement, just being the messenger on this one. Special edition, it's going to be a special edition only. It doesn't have a standard edition. The special edition is $59.99, so just standard AAA retail price, so it's not too bad for a indie collector edition. In the standard or the special edition comes with a Hyper Light Drifter physical game for the Nintendo Switch, a full color game manual, a reversible cover, reversible cover for the game, a lenticular Rosetta card, sticker, companion keychain, poster, full original soundtrack on 2 physical CDs. So quite a bit that you're getting there for your money. So if you're a fan of Hyper Light Drifter Special Edition, and I do apologize, I'll do a better job of researching these. You'll see later on that there was another thing that I was focusing on a lot. So do apologize, guys. I'll get my quality up with new game announcements next week, and maybe we'll even revisit this Hyper Light Drifter, kind of brush over what the game's about, things like that, if you guys want to see it. And this is a full pre-order, and it's available right now. So the next one is Monkey Island 30th Anniversary Anthology, and if you've been keeping up with limited run news the past month or so, I actually brushed and actually didn't brush on this. I talked about it extensively. The 30th Anniversary Anthology was supposed to come out actually weeks ago, I think it was near the end of November. It was supposed to come out, and like it was really suspect because they sort of announced it on Twitter the same week. It was a huge like anthology collection, and then that weekend it was just crickets. We didn't see anything on it. They didn't say anything on Twitter. It was just crickets. Well, It's back and it's actually now available, which is great. This is a PC only release. If you guys don't know what the Monkey Island games are, they're sort of FMV style games where there's like puzzle solving, there's great dialogue. It's old school PC goodness. So if you're into those old school PC games, maybe you had a rig back in the day and you played some of these games, you probably are at least semi familiar with Monkey Island. This is a 30th anniversary anthology. So it's a bunch of games in one, and it is retailing at $174.99. It's going to come with quite a few things, so stick with me here. The first thing is a certificate of authenticity, individually hand-signed by series creator Ron Gilbert, not a printed autograph. So it's actually going to be signed. That's really cool. A Disc 22 floppy diskette. Not sure exactly what that is, but hey, whatever. A Big Whoop amusement park e-ticket. Ask me about Loom Button, kind of a button you can wear to Comic-Con, stuff like that. Different trade shows, kind of fun. If you're a button collector, it comes with a shadow box, and in the shadow box is a scene from Monkey Island, probably a pretty iconic scene, I'm assuming. I'm not really one that's into this game, but it looks kind of fun. I like just to have it as a collector. 6-inch Guybrush resin statue. It looks really good, high quality, sort of like the Samurai Jack one from about 2 months ago. Really high quality, 6 inches tall. I think perfect size for just putting up and displaying, but not so gaudy that it takes up half your shelf. Code wheels, whatever those are, enamel pin set, resin Murray candle holder, which I thought was also pretty cool. Has that same sort of or it has that Monkey Island art style. I'm sure it's probably an iconic piece in the game. Maybe it hit, there was something to do with some sort of puzzle to do with it, or who knows. I'm just spitballing here, but it looks pretty cool. It's very, very Monkey Island style. And then moving on, we have the behind the scenes 160 plus page anniversary book. That's a lot of different pages. That's a lot of pages for a sort of art book. It comes with 5 reversible 8x10 10-inch mini posters featuring maps and promo art on reverse side, a 4-disc DVD-ROM collection containing all 5 games, and a USB with all 5 games. So that's really cool. You actually have it looks like 2 games on 1 disc, which they totally can do, I'm sure. So you're getting a physical copy of the game on disc format if you want to play like on a retro rig that you may have. And then you're also getting all 5 games. And I think a lot of people will just use this. All 5 games on a USB drive. It's, I'm sure, DRM free. So you could boot it up. You don't have to have Steam keys or anything like that. This is sort of reminiscent of the Indie Box days. I don't know if you guys remember Indie Box. I was a huge fan of Indie Box. You paid a monthly subscription. They sent you out a collector's edition every single month. It was great. I'm not even a huge PC gamer, but just getting those collector's editions every month for, I think it was like $25 a month you had to pay, or $30 a month, I thought was totally worth it. It was something to kind of look forward to, and yeah, we just had a blast with it. So that was a mouthful, but that is the Monkey Island 30th anniversary anthology. You should know by now if you want it or not. So it's going to be on a 4-week pre-order. If you think it's cool, then go and check it out. And that's going to do it for limited run news, guys. We're now moving into other news. A new Sonic animated series is coming to Netflix. In a tweet, Netflix said the following: Sonic the Hedgehog is heading to Netflix with a new 3D animated series. Netflix and Sega announced the new series via Twitter on Thursday, saying that Sonic will make his debut on the streaming service in 2020. 2022. So we got quite a long time to wait for that, but I thought that was kind of fun. Sonic, as of late, as you guys probably know, has really been making a lot of buzz with the new Sonic Mania game, as well as Sonic Forces. And then we have in the cinematic scene sort of a whole Sega thing that may become something. We'll have to see. But the first Sonic live action film was a pretty big success. It really reignited the Sonic series, and a lot of new generation are now kind of jumping on to the Sonic craze. So just another thing to get excited for if you're a Sega fan from the past. Sonic the Hedgehog will have an animated series in 2022. Now, with that news, the smaller news out of the way, now it's time to get into sort of the elephant in the room, which is the Game Awards 2020. And there's a lot to go over here, guys, so just stick with me. I'm basically going to go over all the things that I thought were sort of highlight worthy, the things that I thought were worth sort of talking about from the show. So if there's something in here or if there's something missing from here, I do apologize. These are just the things that I was interested in and I wanted to share with you guys. So we're going to start with sort of the pre-show, which was kind of a snore, but you know, hey, it's a pre-show. How good could it be? And there was although there was a lot of really good indie games. So the first game that was kind of noteworthy to me was Tichia, I guess I would say, is pronounced. Sorry if I butchered it. It's a sort of Breath of the Wild-like clone on a tropical island. It looks like some sort of real-world island, possibly. It really has this DreamWorksy, Pixar-y sort of feel to it, with the characters and like the character development and the dialogue, things like that. It looks like it is in a sort of real world location, though. One of the Pacific Islands, maybe the Philippines or possibly Hawaii. We're really not 100% sure yet with the information that they've given us, but it looks really fun and it's a cool indie game that you can look forward to. Next one is Sea of Solitude. This is a dark toned theme sort of game, and we heard about this one, I believe, during an EA presentation this year. It looks really cool. It's a sort of a play on just kind of depression and things like that, and it's kind of like puts it into game form and, you know, raises awareness about those things. Yeah, it looked pretty fun. The gameplay's on the screen. Shady Part of Me is the next one that I was actually really excited for. This one looks really cool. This was a world premiere, and it looks a lot like Little Nightmares. And I've actually had a horror game, you know, scary game sort of awakening this year. And one of the games that I really loved, maybe even loved the most of the horror games that I've enjoyed this year, was Little Nightmares. This game's story was incredible. There was so much lore to jump into, and it was a very impressive game. I finished it and just sat back in my chair and was like blown away for a good 10 to 15 minutes on stream. So this game impacted me tremendously. So if I ever see anything that's sort of like it, I'm always like instantly like excited to get into it. Speaking of which, we do have Little Nightmares 2 coming out pretty soon. So there's a lot to be excited for with the Shady Part of Me. Definitely can't wait to see more. Next thing was an award that was given in the pre-show, and I think it was just kind of funny because the award was for the best family game. And when I think family games, I think, you know, maybe like Monopoly or like a board game like in digital format, or a game like Overcooked, where it's like multiple couch co-op, everyone's playing together, or like you think Wii Sports, that's a family game, right? I don't consider Animal Crossing a family game. I may be completely off base with that. Please correct me in the comments. But Animal Crossing is a single player experience. It may have like family friendly like features to to it. It's clean, you know, it's not, you know, there's no vulgar language, there's no, you know, sexual innuendos or anything like that. It's a very clean game, but I wouldn't consider this a family game. I'd consider it a e-game, a very, you know, e-game, but for some reason they gave Animal Crossing an award. I think this is really we're going to dive into this a little further, but you know, I think this is the direction that the Game Awards is going, in being more of a sort of publicity platform, you know, almost like the new E3, where it's more so about just talking about new games than it is about actually rewarding like truly beautiful and awesome content in this art form that is the video game industry. So, you know, it's great. I'm so happy that Animal Crossing got this award, but, you know, I don't think they deserved it. Century of Ages is another game announcement that kind of sparked my interest as well. This was a sort of Panzer Dragoon. Actually, when I first saw the trailer, I was like, oh no, oh crazy, like a new Panzer Dragoon game. But I think this is a totally different developer, things like that. It's very much so Panzer Dragoon sort of inspired, but I don't think it's a direct, it's more of like a spiritual sequel. But this is what I think Panzer Dragoon would look like if it came out in 2020. And then the big announcement everyone's really excited about, we got a new Smash Ultimate character, Sephiroth, and everyone was freaking out. I was even freaking out. I'm not a big Smash guy, but the trailer was magnifique. It was a very good trailer. It was just really fun to see. Everyone was like when he stabbed Mario, but it was actually through one of his loops in his overalls. And you know, it was just a really fun, exciting announcement. So I know a lot of you guys were stoked about it. So if you happen to not hear about it, there you go. And this next announcement was huge for me. I've been looking forward to this game for a good year and a half now. I actually expected it to be announced during an Xbox showcase, but hey, I'll take it however I can get it. And it's the new Perfect Dark. We didn't get a whole lot of information, just sort of an overworld cinematic trailer ending with the main character in Perfect Dark. I forgot her name, but yeah, I'm just really excited to get a new Perfect Dark game, and I'm excited to see where they go with the franchise as we move forward. It looks like it's sort of a reimagining of characters, so I think personalities will be different, and I think it'll be a whole new sort of game, and hopefully it really takes off, and Microsoft can start making sequels and really sew into that reoccurring IP thing that we've seen. Of course, Nintendo and Sony master. Microsoft needs to get those IPs that people are really excited for. So I hope Perfect Dark does very well. The next one was Back to Blood. This is a Left 4 Dead sort of sequel. It's more of a spiritual sequel, but it's made by the same developers. So, you know, I would even go as far as saying it is Left 4 Dead 3, but they just kind of renamed it. This game looks bananas, guys. I feel like it would be an absolute just fun time to play with 3 other friends. It looks like it is going to be that 4-player co-op that we all love from the Left 4 Dead series, just with newer graphics, newer weapons, newer mechanics, like all that good stuff. They did give us some gameplay as well, and it's stellar. It's gonna be a highly addictive game, a highly anticipated game. I cannot wait to see more. Endless Dungeon. This is another sort of Diablo-style top-down game. This one was impacted me enough to sort of put it on here. It isn't really anything that you know, we haven't seen before, but I thought the mechanics of it and stuff looked pretty fun, so I did want to mention it. Gameplay is next to me. Crimson Desert. This is an open-world action game, and it has a lot of Ghost of Tsushima vibes. This game looked really sweet in the trailer that they showed us. They showed us some gameplay as well. Actually, a lot of gameplay, and it looks very fluid. It looks very fun, and it looks very Ghost of Tsushima. So if you're a fan of those ninja sort of hack and slash games with a lot of blood and gore, this one is definitely one to check out. And then we got Outriders. This is a sort of Destiny-like game, and the thing that stuck out with me with this Outriders world premiere was it encourages you to constantly be on offense. Basically, in the trailer, they explain like, hey, you can use cover, but why do it? You actually gain health every time you get a kill, and you have superpowers. So this is a game that encourages you to constantly be on the offensive, which I think will make a really chaotic and crazy gameplay environment. If everyone is just going full bore the entire time, I think it would create this crazy different game where we just throw out duck and cover, using cover, stuff like that. We just go full bore at each other in a PvP environment. I think it'd be pretty cool. Also, a lot of Destiny vibes. So if you're a Destiny fan, definitely look into this one. There may be something here. And the next one was Fist, Forged in Shadow's Torch. So F-I-S-T, Forged in Shadow's Torch. And this is a side-scrolling hack and slash with furries. So you play as a furry character. I think it's like a little bunny with a giant fist. And it's just a good old-fashioned style hack and slash. It looks really fun. There's some puzzle solving. Not a ton to talk about. We got a little bit of information, and they just kind of moved on. The next one is Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection. Woo! Ghosts and Goblins game coming back. Really excited for that one, guys. They were talking about sort of the difficulty of the game leading up to it, and talking about how they're going to kind of remedy the difficulty of the old games. And this one looks really good. It's if you like Ghosts and Goblins, you'll want to pick it up right away. It's very much so staying to that same sort. They're not trying to reimagine things. They're just like, hey, here's a new Ghosts and Goblins game in 2020. There you go. The next game was Returnal, and this one is one that we actually talked about in the Future of Gaming Showcase for PlayStation 5. And in the Future of Gaming Showcase, I actually said that, more space games. I was kind of not really that impressed by it, just by what they showed us. But this time around, they showed us a lot more gameplay. And man, this game really looks pretty cool. So I'm excited to see what happens as this game evolves. But it looks like it's going to be a pretty fun game to just hop into, and I don't know, there was just something about it. Maybe it was the orbs. There was a lot of orbs taking place, and I love grabbing orbs. It's like grabbing loot in Fortnite. It's just fun. So hopefully they will show us more in the future, but Returnal, check it out. Next game was It Takes Two. This is a kind of charming sort of, once again, like a sort of DreamWorks, Pixar-y sort of story, and it was a very original story. I don't think we've seen a whole lot of games that are like this, and I think it has a great message too. It's a message of just sort of, relationships and marriages, and sort of getting back to just loving your significant other. And, I don't know. It hit me pretty hard. I thought that was a really cool message in a world where there's so many different mixed messages that, I don't always agree with. I just thought this was just a good, wholesome sort of story from the looks of it. And basically you play these two characters that were, humans at one point, and then I guess through the breaking up of their marriage, they got turned into toys, and now they have to basically rekindle their relationship so they can become humans again. And, it sounds really, kind of, off the wall, but at the same time, it feels very original. The dialogue looks really funny from what we saw, so it's going to be a very charming and fun game to play. It also looks like it's a sort of co-op game, so maybe you could even play it with your significant other. So, I think there's a lot to look into, and there's a lot to still see with this one, but I'm really excited for it. And now we got a awesome announcement also for Fortnite, guys. Of course, every single year it seems like Fortnite has a little spot in the Game Awards where they announce something cool, and this year was a big one. They announced Master Chief, as well as Michonne and Daryl from the Walking Dead series, as well as a Blood Gulch map live. And basically this one actually was live today at the time of this recording, and the reason why I started this a little later is because I wanted to jump into this map and kind of check it out, and I did. I wasn't able to get like a packed lobby. It was like a 1v1, but you can see on the screen it it's a remaking of Blood Gulch. It's looks really cool. It's been Fortnite-ified, but they did change the mechanics. They removed, of course, building, because there's no building in Halo. Come on. So they kind of kept that sort of deal. So there's no building, and it's just a good old-fashioned game of capture the flag. I cannot wait to jump into this game in a full lobby, but even on a 1v1 sort of, just killing each other, capture the flag game, I had an absolute blast. And then we got the Medal of Honor Above and Beyond surprise launch. This was a big surprise for a lot of people. We thought we were going to just hear more information about Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. And if you don't know what Medal of Honor Above and Beyond is, it's actually a VR game that was announced, I think, about a year ago or so, and it has been highly anticipated. This game came to PC VR on pretty much all platforms, so even like the standalone Oculus Quest also got a release for this as well. I'm going to be playing it on PC VR. It's a full retail release, so it's going to be $59.99, but it looks like you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. It has multiplayer in it, has a full-fledged campaign in World War II, which I think is sort of missing from VR games. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks really fun. You can actually like grab grenades, those like World War II grenades from like Call of Duty back in the day, like those like long German grenades. Like you could even grab those and throw them back at the enemy and stuff. So it looks really fun. I'm super excited to jump into this one. So if you're a VR headset lover, go and check this game out. I think it will be worth every single penny. Now, those are the main announcements, guys, that I was really excited about with the Game Awards 2020. Now, I just kind of wanted to get into my basic overall opinion of the Game Awards this year, and I think overall the Game Awards was really good. It was there was a lot of cool announcements. There was a lot of things to get excited for, Fortnite and all these new games and indie games to get excited for. So I'm excited for 2021. As far as the awards go, though, I think that there was I don't know. I just feel like there's a disingenuousness about these games, these game awards, and who's choosing the winners for these. It just seems like there's a bit of a bias that is being held towards certain games and certain narratives. And the big one, of course, is Last of Us Part 2. I'm a huge fan of that game. I actually, I wanted to do a review, but it was early in me getting into content creation, and I just didn't really feel like it was something that I should have jumped into, because there was already so many opinions out there, and I felt like my video would have just gotten kind of drowned in the sea of other opinions. But personally, I enjoyed the game. I thought the story was good. I enjoyed the new gameplay mechanics that they implemented. I enjoyed playing through it, and I really didn't like the narrative. Like, everyone was like talking about the narrative and what they're pushing, and I really wasn't that sort of like, I wasn't disappointed in the narrative. Like, I get that's what a lot of, mainstream stuff is trying to push, is in, you know what I mean? I'm trying to not be like, I'm trying to not upset anybody by saying this, but, at the same time, you can't make everyone happy. But by narrative, you know what I mean? Like, the sexual orientation, I guess, of the characters is sort of the meat of what I'm saying here. And I didn't really mind it. I was like, okay, Ellie's gay, who cares? Like big deal, moving on. Abby has ginormous man muscles. Okay, interesting choice, moving on, So I just accepted it and moved forward. I enjoyed the story. It was still that Joel and Ellie. There was a very passionate cutscene that, I absolutely loved. It almost brought me to tears. I don't really cry over games, and I just feel like, it was a good game. But in the Game Awards, I feel like they chose a lot of these games to win because of that narrative. And I just don't agree with that at all. I feel like a game should be rewarded upon its innovative design and its creativity and its original ideas. And I didn't feel like there was a ton of original ideas with The Last of Us Part 2. I feel like there was a lot of shock and awe with the death of Joel and things like that. But I didn't feel like this game deserved getting every single award that it was announced for. Like every single time The Last of Us Part 2 came up in any sort of like award, even like for like their design for people that are handicapped and stuff, I'm like, dude, like, come on, like, does Last of Us Part 2 have to be in every single award? And then, of course, they're getting all these awards, so they're going to hand them Game of the Year award. And I just don't feel like that game was Game of the Year. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I remember when this game came out, there was a lot of people that were not too excited about it. They didn't think it was a good game. Even looking beyond the story, they thought it was a very average game, and it didn't live up to the hype. And let's be honest, that game was not going to live up to the hype. No game was going to surpass what the first, no sequel was going to surpass what the first one did. The first one was game changing for a lot of us, including myself. So, I knew going into it that this game was not going to be as good as the first one. So I just don't think it was deserving of Game of the Year. And I think the reason why it got Game of the Year was because of its narrative. And games should not be given Game of the Year or other awards just because it's pushing a certain narrative that the mainstream media wants to push more. So, just with that, it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth as far as the awards go. So, the way I look at the Game Awards moving forward, and I'm going to wrap this up because I got to get started with my day, but the way I look at the Game Awards moving forward into 2021 and the future until they prove something differently is that whoever pays the most gets the award. I feel like that's really what it comes down to. Whoever pushes the narrative that the Game Award creators and the nominee choosers decides, whoever pushes that narrative that they like the most, they're going to get the award. And I think that's absolute garbage. So, those are my opinions, guys. Let's kind of bring it down a little bit. Overall, Game Awards was great. I just didn't like the award part. And that's my personal opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Trash me in the comments if you'd like. Totally fine. I still love ya. Those are my personal opinions. And that's going to do it for today's podcast, guys. We do need to finish with comment of the week.
Dude, comment of the freaking week. It's the comment of the week. It's the comment of the week.
And this week's comment of the week goes to FPS Bando. He commented on my previous podcast, and he said this: I own a 65-inch LG CT for my 3090, which he's talking about his PC graphics card, and PS5. They are the only TVs that really get the full potential out of both products. And I just want to first of all say thank you, FPS Brando, for that comment, or FPS Bando for that comment of the week. I am very appreciative of you basically doing what I asked, which was, hey, if there's something I'm missing, let me know in the comments so we know a PC that, or a TV that is good for, you know, both things. So if you're like big into getting everything out of your product on your screen, hey, go check out the 65-inch LG CX. Once again, FPS Bando, thank you so much for your comment. But that's going to do it for this week's podcast, guys. If you like this video, do me a favor and smash like, as well as subscribe with bell notifications turned on so you can catch me every time I do a podcast like this or any of our other videos. Go and check them out, guys. We have so many different videos on so many different subjects. We have a little parody stuff, a little bit of sketch stuff. So it's a really fun time. And I also want to hear from you guys down in the comments down below. What did you guys think of the Game Awards? What was your favorite game announcement, new game coming out? And am I completely off base on the whole, you know, game award section of it? Let me know in the comments section down below. And also, guys, I just wanted to reiterate, your comment and your opinion is valued by me. So don't feel like you are being discouraged from voicing your opinions and your comments. Our comment section, YouTube may be doing different things, but my comment section, as long as I have control over it, is a free speech platform. So keep it clean, you know, keep it family friendly, but voice your opinions down below. I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Luke from 8-Bit Plus signing out, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless.